Hello, witches. Grab your goat, grab your wand, grab a drink, twirl your mustache, because it is time for the Witches Movie Coven. Yes, witches, real witches, talking about witches, usually not real witches, in movies. Old movies, new movies, good movies, bad movies, worse movies, and everywhere in between. I am Patti Negri. I am one of your hosts. You might know me from Ghost Adventures or my Witching Hour podcast or my brand new book, Dollcraft, which was in my hand a moment ago. Wait, this book, oh, Heather's got it. Forward by Heather Greene herself, also a doll girl, a haunted doll, and every other kind of doll girl, my doll sister. So I am thrilled to be here. And I want to pass this on to my family. Let's start out with Richard-Lael.
Hi, I am Richard-Lael. Richard-Lael is one name, not two. If I were just Richard, I would be a. That's right. I am known as the Gentleman Psychic. I am also known for appearances on Ghost Adventures and teaching at University of Magicus, and some viral moments on Jubilee Media. So I'm a little bit well known. But before we go any further, I would like to say, if you are watching this, thank you, thank you, thank you. Make certain that you hit the like and subscribe button wherever that is on the screen, because that helps the algorithms, and we love it. We know you love us, so thereby it doesn't cost anything. Do that. We also have something that you should also check out, which is, if you look right here, if you click on that right there, see that QR code right up there, you can see that we have all of these things at mysterycontrol.com. We have the books that we have written. We have T-shirts. We have even things from the vault. So if you are curious, if you would like to wear some branding proudly, we would be delighted to have our names and our brand on your body, and you too can support this channel.
Thank you very much. I'm on my way there now. Let's critter corner to Courtney Buckley.
Hey, that's me. I'm Courtney Buckley, Ghost Bait on Scared and Alone. I live on mysterycontrol.com, not, today, but most every other day. All of my attire comes from mysterycontrol.com. So if you want to be a cool kid like me, head on over.
Thank you very much. Heather Greene.
Hi, I am Heather Greene, and I'm the author of Lights, Camera, Witchcraft, what I'm going to hold up right here. Ta-da! And you can get it on Mystery Control. And I'm also the forward writer for Dollcraft. I'm just going to show that off again because it's new. I am an editor at Llewellyn Worldwide, working with all kinds of great occult and witchcraft authors, as well as a journalist and an author myself, and all kinds of other things, and a member of this wonderful coven. I'm so glad to be here tonight to talk about this wonderful movie.
Thank you. And the golden locks of Jason Mankey is not here tonight. He had better things to do, but in certain joy and glory, our regular extra coming in, Thumper Forge. Welcome back, Thumper. We always love having you.
Hello, thank you for having me. I am Thumper. I didn't have anything better to do. I'm always happy to be here. I am the author of the upcoming Chaos Apple, Magic and Discordianism for the Postmodern Witch, which was edited by Heather. And I am wearing a Fetching Garrison cap in honor of the creepy mortician in tonight's movie who was wearing one for no reason whatsoever.
Thank you very much. All right. Tonight's movie, I'm plugging in things here. Tonight's movie is called Daughters of Satan. Yes, indeed. Daughters of Satan. It is from 1972, and it actually stars Tom Selleck. I do believe it may have been his first starring role, but that's not my department. I'm going to pass that down later. But yes, but I look at this picture. I don't believe in all my years on this planet and watching movies and television, I have ever seen Tom Selleck that young before. And in seeing Tom Selleck that young before, he looks exactly like my second husband. I mean, they could be twin brothers. He was.
That's funny because he actually looks like my next husband.
Don't take my first husband as your next husband. Just telling you that. Just saying. But the whole movie, I'm like, Mark? Mustache, everything. We weren't quite in the 70s. We were a decade later, but same thing. It was wild. Anyway, so Daughters of Satan. Hope you guys all watched it. because you'll never be the same. But just in case you didn't, Richard-Lael, do you have one of your beautiful, thorough, complete, unbiased synopsises of this film?
And how? So, Magnum PI has a fever dream on Fantasy Island. Just to set it up, that's where it begins. That's where it begins. The simple plot line is this. An art dealer goes to Guam to find an ancient tapestry to sell to a museum. Meanwhile, he's there, he encounters ninjas for some reason that really have no other plot line, just ninjas. He just encounters ninjas who advertise cigarettes from the back of a truck. Why? I don't know. However, along the way and on this journey, he encounters this antique dealer who is address is 666 something or other. And this antique dealer has a painting that depicts 3 beauteous women engulfed in the passions of flame, and their dog too. I'll get you, my pretty, and your big dog too. Anyway, he brings the paint, he buys the painting, brings the painting home, and the wife becomes obsessed with it because it looks like me. Oh, and I forgot to tell you something. She wears a ginormous gold crucifix around her neck because she looks like she might be working at the White House or on Fox News, just to show how earnest she is and unsatan-like she is. She wears the big gold cross. Turns out she is a reincarnated witch from 1592. And then she meets some people who are also witches that show up, and the paintings fade. And then for whatever reason, in all of these hundreds of years, all of these women have to come back together and kill every adult male who was part of the witch burning, which doesn't really necessarily make sense, because if you kill every male, then how we wouldn't even have a film, right? Like you would have. How many descendants are you going to kill? Honestly, like just stop the one before he has a child. You're done, right? Anyway, so for all these hundreds of years, these women have been coming back and killing one man in particular. Oh, and by the way, when they're active, the paint fades. And then, of course, there's a psychiatrist who gets murdered, and there is a ghost dog. And then there's a lot of boobs and butts. Yep. But the funniest thing, I think, is, of course, again, that painting. I actually have something to show you. So that painting right there, it's supposed to be 1592, that painting, with the acrylics. However, this is a painting from 1623. This is a real one. This is not acrylic. Acrylic didn't happen until many hundreds of years later, but I will tell you, he looks like me. He looks like me. He looks like me. And that's sort of, oh, and by the way, then he gets it in the end. Anyway, he gets it. In the end of the film, they had this whole elaborate murder plan, and it fails because, of course, it does. And he gets stabbed in the back by his beloved wife, who is under the power of Satan. The end.
I think he gets it in the end. It needs to be our T-shirt for tonight. I was laughing at it, and then I got it, and then I laughed more at it.
He gets it in the end. Thank you. Thank you. Now, it should be clear to everybody, this film, the plot line, the story, and everything that goes with it. But there might be a little more information we could have along the way. Ms. Heather, so good to have you here. Do we have 5 things that we really do need to know about this film?
Yeah, we do. I'm going to go back to context because that's always fun when we talk about 70s movies. And then, of course, some basics. about the movie and the director and stuff. I'm going to do that as 2 and 3. And then we'll talk about the actors, because, you know, Tom Selleck, we can't pass him up. And of course, and then I'll talk about the witch exploitation films and give you some other films that you might want to watch if you enjoyed this film. Wow. Because there are a lot. So let's start out with context. So I want to give context, and I've done this when we've done other films from this era, but I want to be clear because this film is often talked about in terms of the Satanic Panic. But I want to be clear that this movie was made 10 years before the Satanic Panic even started, even in a little bit. And it was a good 15 to 20 before Hollywood picked up on the Satanic Panic. So this is pre-Satanic Panic. Yes, there's Satan. Yes, there are witches worshiping Satan. But this movie was made during a period of time when the occult was booming, when it was popular, when witchcraft, as we know it today, modern witchcraft, first emerged on the scene in any type of public venue. Books were first published in the 70s. Zines were becoming, the witchcraft community was emerging in the United States at this time and very accessible to Hollywood writers. So they weren't necessarily practitioners, but the material was very accessible. And there were some people that were. On top of that, you also had the emergence of the New Age movement. You had other types of cultural movements. And of course, Anton LaVey and the Satanic and the Church of Satan. And so there was a ton of occult stuff going on at this time, emerging alongside all of our cultural movements. Can you guys see me?
Yes.
Okay, yes. My screen is completely black now, so I have no idea what you guys are doing, but I'll keep talking as long as you can see me and hear me, that I'm going to keep talking. So so that is the most fascinating part about this, is that this movie came out at a time, and it was part of also, and I've talked about this before, is that this was right after the period of time when Hollywood stopped censoring its movies. The censorship was gone. The rating system was here. So I like to say, when I do talks, is all hell broke loose. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute when we talk about witchploitation. Now let's talk about the basics. 1972, this movie costs about $240,000. It's a B movie. It's schlock, as I love that term that was used by some 60s directors. It was directed by a man named Hollingsworth Mays. There was another director attached to it, but this is the person who is given the credit. He was a TV director mostly, and you can really see that in the style. It was written for the screen. So there was no book or play or anything like that. And what's interesting about this is that it was part of a double feature, a UA double feature, United Artists. So double features were pretty popular back in the 50s, 60s, 70s. Hollywood always was doing things to draw people to the movie theater rather than sitting in front of their television. Double features were one of the ways to do that. And I think there was a line in Rocky Horror Picture Show about double features, wasn't there? Double feature picture show.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Am I right? So
yeah.
Double features.
Heather,
yes.
Heather, you're frozen.
Okay.
We can hear you. We can absolutely
hear you. Yeah, but your
It's
picture.
okay. It's okay, because Richard-Lael is moving for you.
Hang on a second. Let me see. My screen is coming back, so let me see if
Oh no, the daughters of Satan took her.
Oh, she faded from the picture.
Oh my God, she's coming to life as a witch.
Oh no.
She's being reincarnated. There
am I back?
Yes.
Yay. Okay. I don't know what just happened right there. That was the weirdest thing. My screen went completely black. I kept talking. I couldn't tell what was going on. You guys could have been doing all kinds of weird stuff.
We
So
were.
The paintings of 1592 are the Zoom and whatever screens of 2025.
Right. Exactly. And so I'm going to jump right back into that, because the double feature, which I was talking about, was like the binge watching of today. So you go and watch multiple movies. So this was a double, getting back to what I was talking about. This was a double feature with a movie called Super Beast. That sounds exactly like something that Courtney would love. Super and Super Beast was directed by the brother of the producer of this movie. Daughters of Satan. These movies were done, they're schlock, but I think I have a sense that it's fascinating. I have a sense that these movies were not done to be schlock necessarily. They were just low budget horror movies, and they tried, and you can see that with the way they presented the certain things. There was some low budget stuff going on. It was filmed in Manila, which you probably can also tell from the movies. They had various Filipino actors in it, and which is going to lead me to, the next thing, the actors. So let's start with Tom Selleck. How about it? Everybody ready? Tom Selleck. Anyone ever hear of him? There he is on the screen. Woo! I think him and his mustache are quite famous. He was born in 1945 and made his fame through Magnum PI. And the fascinating thing about going through all of his filmography and appearances is really Magnum PI is his big thing. This was his first starring role in a film, not his first role. He had bit parts before in features and TV and commercials. His first TV appearance was actually on The Dating Game in 1965. So, Patty, if you want to see him younger, go look for that episode of The Dating Game, and you'll see him even younger.
Okay.
This actually, when I watched this and I didn't realize he was in it the first time, I was like, oh my goodness, Tom Selleck. You can find a lot of these B-movie horror films have some of very famous actors in it that will surprise you if you look back. And I've got a few others maybe for the future watching on that regard. He was also in a number of, as I said, commercials. There he is. The Dating Game, 1965. Look at him without his stash. That's not him. But what's interesting is that as famous as he is, he hasn't done as much as I expected, and he hasn't been in too many things more recently, which is curious. He was in Blue Bloods, and I'm just losing my screen again, so I'm probably going to freeze. And Jesse Stone, a bunch of TV movies that he's part of the producer of, which I don't know much about. So please just stop me when I'm frozen and I'll try to get back. I don't know what's going on with my computer.
You're fine now.
Okay, well, some of the other actors, you have Tawny Guthrie, one of the witches. She was in Postman Rings twice, a big movie from 81, but it was a bit role. So she was in a bunch of TV's Gunsmoke, Bonanza, Dragnet stuff all throughout. Bara Grant, these are just, they weren't in that much. Let's just put it that way. You have Paraluma. She is considered the Greta Garbo of the Philippines, which she played one of the witches as well. And she had been probably the most famous of all of the ones. You have the other two men in the film, Vic Silan and Vic Diaz. Those were also Filipino actors that usually played villains and would appear on foreign films as well as American films. You didn't have a big, well-known cast. Tom Selleck is really the only reason this film probably survives. Am I frozen yet?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, you guys, come on.
Covering it. Covering it.
We've been,
Okay,
yeah,
wait,
we've been-
it's coming back again. So hang on. I'm going to appear again.
we all took turns being you, Heather. It's okay. We got it.
Yeah.
We covered
Okay. So it looks like I'm frozen and I'm seeing myself frozen. So I'm going to finish this and then I'm going to get back in, but I'm going to finish to tell you one other thing. Is that Witchploitation. So I'm going to talk while I'm frozen. No, see, I can't do this. I see exactly what you're doing, Thumper.
They've all been doing it. You just
it. Yeah, we took turns.
Okay, so I can see you now. I love technology. Okay. So do you want me to continue?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I will continue and you guys can continue mouthing the words here. So basically, I'm going to talk about witchploitation. So witchploitation, I can't even watch this. This is tough. So I'm going to look away now. So witchploitation was, as I said, when Satan... oh my goodness, I'm turning around. I can't look at this. So when Hollywood had their released the code and people were able to make whatever they want. We had a lot of material being exploited. A lot of stuff that couldn't be on the screen prior was released on the screen. And this included a lot of occult material, which was not permitted beforehand. So we have this thing called exploitation films. I've talked about it before. I'm reiterating. We have at this point witchploitation, which is, as I always say, Satan pretty much broke loose all over filmdom. So you have a ton of films like this. Some of the best and worst films of the early 1970s are witch films, and some of the best films that we watch and worst films come from this early part. So I'm just going to give you a few other films like this in case you enjoyed this movie, because I know there's some people out there that absolutely enjoyed this movie. So you can do, we've already seen Necromancy. We've seen Blood Orgy of the She-Devil. You also have Blood Sabbath. You have Brotherhood of Satan. You have Touch of Satan. And I'm also going to add in Courtney's most favorite film of all time, The Witch Who Came from the Sea. So there's a ton more. These are just a few, but there's a ton of films that come from this era. Those are few. If you watched this and loved it, I highly recommend watching some of these others. And now I'm going to stop and I'm going to bow out of this whole podcast and try to come back in so I'm not frozen.
I feel like we just made the witch film of the century, if I'm honest. So
I really do. This was like Daughters of Satan, the musical. It was amazing.
Right.
I should actually start singing, because then it would really, really be fun to watch you guys then. Oh my goodness. Don't tempt me.
I used to do this. I used to, all the Universal shows, not Magnum PI, but a bunch of Miami Vice. I used to do all the ADR work. I would be in the studio, and the first job I ever had, they wanted me to replace the voice. The sound had been bad on the actress who had played this role. It was a medium-sized role. So I was nervous because I had never done that before. You're in this big studio on Universal Studios lot, and this monster screen with just me and one microphone. And when they showed me the actress I was replacing, she was an 80-year-old Black woman.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
It was like a 25-year-old white girl. I'm like, do I do a weird Black accent? It was in a prison. It was all this stuff, but I did it. And then I became a regular ADR, filling in words, doing all the background stuff, the chatter. I forget the names of all of it. That's why I did all those 80s shows doing exactly that. I've definitely lost the talent a little bit, Heather. You've got to keep doing this, freezing up so we can get better at it. Right.
Well, it's convenient because I'm pretty sure that exact thing took place in this movie. I'm a weird person, and when I watch like movies or TV or anything, I watch people's mouths when they talk, and like I hyper focus on it weirdly. And if their mouth is weird or does weird things, I cannot. That's it. I'm hyper focused. I can't get away from it. So like there are certain actors or actresses that I cannot watch because their mouths move weird and I can't watch anything that they're in. And that also goes for when like the sound is just out of sync or like something like that. So one of the later on in this movie, like the other witch person, the Spider Woman Mommy Satan, who was whipping people in the beginning when she came back, her voice when she was talking to Tom Selleck was like there she is, just like a half fraction of a second like out of sync, and it drove me up a wall. But I think that that's what someone did, because he sounded different and she sounded louder. So I think that that's exactly what happened. So convenient that this would take place while we're discussing this movie, and I noticed that.
Thank you. And the costuming. I mean, the 70s stuff, watching the dresses, the wipes dresses and stuff, but nothing beats the satanic leotards, 1970s style, with crabs on the breasts and lobsters on the crotch.
Is that what it was? Because I thought it was Spider-Man.
Crabs on the breast and lobsters on the breast while you're BDSMing. Yes, isn't that crabs and that's the best I could make out.
She's got crabs.
Yeah, she's got crabs. Yeah, that's what does that have to do with witchcraft? That was the funniest thing to me.
Does Manila have like a burgeoning seafood industry or something? Like, because I spent a lot of time trying to figure out why Or just maybe they just found that somewhere and they were like, this looks witchy, and just threw it in.
It doesn't look witchy at all.
It looked like Marvel. It looked like this is, or whoever Spider-Man is, but this is where they got the inspiration from. That was this movie. And then they made Spider-Man's costume.
Yay, you're back.
Welcome
I'm
back.
different.
But you know what I thought, not even about the movie, but we looking at movies in the 2000s and beyond, and modern movies, you look at movies in the 70s, how different actresses' bodies are.
Mm-hmm.
We're like a different species. To get naked on the camera now, to get naked on the camera then.
I tell you, I have been obsessed since I was a little boy. I have always wanted a 70s body. And one day I might have one in the back of my trunk.
Yeah, get it.
Yeah. So that was amazing. And it's funny with Heather, it's like, to me, that's the thing about it's the boob. I don't think there was as many butts, but the boobs, opening with boobs, it's all about boobs, real boobs. So it's amazing to see real boobs and natural boobs. But the costuming did me in. The thing that also that was weird though is like, why did she have to have this mental disease? Just so does witchcraft always have to be tied in with, is it mental disease or is it witchcraft going on? Crabs and is it scorpions for astrology?
Cancer and Scorpio. Oh,
now we have to think.
I still think it's Spider-Man.
Yeah. So anyway, so that bugged me a little bit. She was recently ripped from psychiatric care. We had to bring the psychologist and psychiatrist into it. Is it magical possession or is it just a mental breakdown? The ambiguity of it is kind of weird that way, and just too deep or too shallow for the B film that it was. My thoughts.
Those are good thoughts. I loved every minute of it. I loved that. Oh, where to begin? I loved that we've already talked about this, that the paintings themselves were clearly not from 1592. I loved that every other actor and actress in the movie was just chewing the scenery to shreds, and Tom Selleck was just sort of vaguely annoyed the whole time. Like everybody got direction except him. It was just sort of a glorious train wreck. The one thing that really bothered me though, and I own that this is absolutely inane, it really bothers me in movies when a character is supposed to be like an expert in antiquities, but then they handle the priceless antiques like they're just everyday objects. And like the best example of this, if you've ever seen the movie The Nightscape, where Johnny Depp plays an antique book dealer, and somebody's like, this is a first edition of Don Quixote from 1605. And he's like, neat. Oh, wow. Okay, sure is. And so when Tom Selleck is like haphazardly flopping through paintings and pulling them out, basically spit shining them and like, oh, this one's old. And I was like, you're going to get fired from the museum. You were terrible at your job. I loved that Kitty went to the psychiatrist, like burst in and was like, I think I'm going insane. And he was like, oh, take your pills. And then turns to Tom Selleck and like, your wife is possessed. Like the 180 there that made no sense. I loved Kitty's facial reactions the whole movie. I loved the worst seduction scene in the history of modern cinema.
Yes.
And how
Tom
Selleck was like profoundly unmoved by that entire experience.
Wait, Thumper. And then not like a scene later, she's talking to him in the house. And then they're like chatting and he's talking, and then they cut to him close up, and then they cut back to her and she's half naked on the bed or fully naked. And then he's like, keeps talking like she's not naked, and sits down right next to her and keeps talking. I'm like, what?
He missed it. He absolutely just like, I was like, what is happening? With Kitty herself, that actress, at the end when they're in the bar and they all sort of like come to and they're not possessed anymore. And Christine is like, I'm worried about my husband. I think something horrible. And Kitty goes, and just sort of like making these faces, and is like, get a load of her. And then they just go to Hong Kong. Like, hey, who wants to come to Hong Kong with me?
On $432, by the by. The other woman didn't have any money, and the other woman had a check that was not to her, and $32 in her purse.
Yeah.
Let's go to Hong Kong on $432.
No, because she was like, I'll charge it. I'm going to buy everything in that city. And then they were just like, it didn't matter that they just woke up at a bar and had no idea who they were or how they got there. They were like, it happens. It's Manila. Like, I adored it. I loved everything about it. And I loved, the best moment for me was right at the beginning, which is how I knew I was going to love it, when the creepy antique dealer had the ritual knife and he was showing it to the little old rich lady, and he was like, it was consecrated with salt and vinegar and skunk, and she went, pee? And he was like, yes, because skunks, native to North America, of course they're going to have skunk pee in Manila. But then he's like telling her it's like consecrated to Satan, it's used for evil, and she goes, I'm going to buy it for luck.
Oh,
And I was like, I like you. I just like you.
Yeah.
So that was my rant about how profoundly this movie affected me.
I was say I liked it. Don't think just because I had issues with it, I liked every second of it as well. And there is not too much dog cruelty, even though it's like, why are you locking him in that shed again? Does he have water in that shed? I'm not sure. Does Nicodemus, the Satan dog with 666 and a scary collar who came out of the painting, does he have water in that shed? But I didn't hate it because I didn't see dog cruelty.
Yeah.
And Nicodemus could transmute into some kind of spider and crawl out anytime you wanted to.
This is true.
He was in no real danger. That's what happens with all familiars. They all turn into spiders whenever they want to. Praise Satan.
Yeah. Although, Patty, to touch on something you said earlier, there is a long-standing trope in films of witchcraft makes women crazy. And so that they're like the movie, if you've ever seen Beautiful Creatures, it was a novel and then it was made into a movie. And that's sort of the plot, where there's this sort of like family of witches, and the male witches are fine, but when the women witches turn 18, they go crazy and evil. And so there's that, like, if you let the women be unchecked and you let them, think for themselves and vote, they will turn to Satan and destroy society.
Okay, but to me,
Great.
that I get, but it looked backwards. Like, is it crazy or is it witchcraft? Not the witchcraft turned her crazy. I'm not sure, but yes.
I think what turned her crazy is that damned crucifix around her neck. Hey, you left your crucifix in the car. You ought to be more careful, he says. Oh, come on. How could you? She didn't know that she wasn't wearing this around her neck.
The maid had her take it off. The maid who showed up and was like, I work here now. I'm here to help you fulfill your destiny.
Oh, you mean
she makes her own rules?
Juanita? No. What was her name?
Juana.
Juana was her fake name.
Oh, that's
her
right.
real name was something RN. She's a nurse.
Yes.
Yeah.
A housekeeper? I'm a nurse. Because, of course, Satan has a nurse go and be a housekeeper. Of course she does.
Satan works in mysterious ways. Like,
yeah.
Who are we to question the Manila Assembly of Lucifer, which is the greatest name
There's our other t-shirt.
I'm desperate for a Manila Assembly of Satan t-shirt.
Yeah.
That is the new name of my queercore band. I'm obsessed.
Right.
Go ahead, Courtney.
You can go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I had that moment too, Thumper, where like I saw Dominatrix. I'm sticking with Spider-Man mommy whipping someone in the beginning, and I was like, oh, this is where this is going. And I was like sat and ready to watch it. And as soon as they put it was like, oh, here we go, witches being burned, but then it was not Salem 1692. It was Spain 1592. And I was like, you know what? Okay, I'm here. I'm in it. Like, I'm not even mad. So I was paying attention. I loved it. Their chemistry was, to me, very natural. Like, usually I don't believe it ever. And this time I kind of did. And I got a little bit lost in that. And then especially when she was trying to kill him. And then there was other points where like I felt like I was watching the same movie we've already watched 600 times. And so my attention span would sort of float away. And then something would happen to like capture me back in. And then I'd have my full attention for a few more minutes. And then it would just, Okay, fine. I will say that it did feel like when the movie was over and I paused it and I looked at Tubi to see how long it had been. I didn't check halfway through like I normally do, but I was like, this movie was at least 2 hours long, and it was an hour and 24 minutes. So, yeah, there is that. I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it. I feel like we've watched worse, but we've definitely seen better. And I
It's
did
no
like,
killing tree.
It's nothing is except maybe Bambi the Reckoning, or upcoming soon Velocipaster. We'll see. But no, I feel like of all the 70s movies that we watch and all the times that I complain about all the 70s movies that we watch, this one was not the worst. So
it had ninjas.
It had ninjas and revolutionaries.
What I don't understand.
Velocipaster.
What?
What? I just gave it away.
Ninjas and Velocipaster?
Yes.
What I'm going to go back to the point where, so he's escaping these ninjas. He walks in and the antique dealer is stabbed through the heart. And he's like, hey, are you okay? And then he pushes him back and he's like, oh, stabbed through the heart. And then he picks up the phone as if he's going to call, and he pauses like, what is the number for 911? And then the other ninja comes out and chases him. And then he's running through the streets and he jumps in the back of this truck with cigarettes, cartons of cigarettes. And he's throwing these big boxes of cigarettes, branded cigarettes. And these people, and it's not like it's a big truck. It's like a pickup truck. And they just keep driving. Like, they don't know that not only is there some guy in the back of their truck, but he's throwing their cargo at ninjas.
I feel like everyone in that scene, like all the pedestrians were like, this again, Manila. What are you going to do?
When I watched back when I was writing my book and I got to this period of time, and I had the joy of being able to watch these type of movies back to back. I mean, it was 2 a day. Is it going from one to the other to Warlock Moon and Touch of Satan and Satan this and Satan and cheerleaders and everything. I mean, the whole from 1968, 9 all the way through the early mid 70s. It was such a joy. It was, and a lot of them bleed together because it's a lot of the same over and over, just different situations. I think this one stood out because, and I think that's the only reason this one kind of has had the legs it has is because Tom Selleck's in it. So it's given that reason, but it is a lot better because I think it's simpler. I think that some of the movies get so convoluted and they get so twisted around, like all the things they're trying to do, that it becomes a snore or becomes ridiculous. This one is ridiculous, but it's very simple. It's like these women, these old 300-year-old women are coming out of the painting to kill the guy. And then you have a few other characters. You have the guy that knows what's going on. He's in every witchcraft movie. You've got ninjas and a few other things. It's very simple, but it is still ridiculous. But I think I enjoy this one a little bit more, like everyone said, because it is simpler. And I agree, the chemistry between the two main characters is definitely there.
You can see it in that image, the way that she's looking at him right in the eyes as they kiss.
Yeah. There's really no chemistry between the naked girl with the main girl. What's her name? I can't remember her name now. Kitty and Tom Selleck's character James, because that was the funniest thing. That scene right there that we're looking at, that made me laugh. They turn around and they show her and she's like, how'd you get undressed so fast and get in the bed like that? That was very quick.
Well, even moments before, she was like right in his face going, you think you're going to seduce me, but nobody can seduce me. And she was like running her fingers across his face. And it was just
she did the whole like
weird.
She did the whole thing. That was the worst seduction scene ever. I was laughing hard at that one, but I did enjoy this one to a degree. I think this one stands out, and I don't know if it's a painting or what, but it definitely stands out.
I want to talk a little bit more about that painting because it was such a beautiful work of art. This is right up there next to velvet paintings of Elvis.
It did seem very velveteen, didn't it?
It's very velvety. It's almost as good as dogs playing poker. Almost as classy as that. Just almost.
Listen, I have to say
Looking for
too.
you?
What?
I was going to say, should we be looking for a copy of it for you then for Yule this year?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm an artist. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll paint it. It was so good.
You should put us in it.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what I was
Dibs on
just gonna
Nicodemus.
say.
I want to be the dog.
What I was just gonna say is that if a man brought me a painting that depicted someone that looked like me burning at the stake in 1592, I would not react the way that she reacted with the dramatic, like, oh my God, no. I would be like, yes, like, oh, this is the best gift ever.
Yeah, but that's you, Courtney. You're the
Right.
one.
But we don't.
But
But who?
but okay, if he is this art dealer again, that Thumper, what you said about the art thing being weird, I noticed that before he got to the paintings with the tapestry. Let me pick up this tapestry.
Oh yeah.
Right.
It's not real. But why would a guy who knows his wife has mental problems and mental issues buy a picture that because it looks like his wife being burned at the stake? He had to justify it, like, I don't know why I'm buying this. I'm drawn to buying this. We have a reason. I shouldn't be buying this, but I don't know. That I lost it a little bit there. But I did like the relationship.
In a way, for me, that's part, because I agree. The relationship felt very natural to me.
Yeah.
And I think part of it was they had like a constant low level of frustration with each other that felt very normal in a relationship.
Yes.
But also, oh, hey, I'm going to buy this painting because it looks like my wife's being burned at the stake, not making the connection that the wife might not appreciate that is a very, just struck me as something that would happen to me. Because I've been the person to give somebody the very thoughtful present and have them go, what?
Like
I don't get
picture
this.
of a
What are you
roach?
thinking?
Like a picture of a roach?
Yeah, but that was different. That was that was our special bond.
That was our special bond. I'm teasing you. He sent me a picture of a roach on a tarot card.
With the night with the
I'm sorry I jumped in on you, Courtney, but it's just like your reaction to getting a picture of Lillard like that is probably going to be different than most people's. So, Richard-Lael, when you do the pointing of all of us, make Courtney the star.
Right.
yeah.
I'll
she
be
just
burned.
grew up
I
with something.
volunteer as tribute. I'll be burned at the stake. Also, I don't think most people's reaction is to run screaming across the room and then also hold up a weird mirror like you know what you look like. So holding up a mirror next to it and like losing yourself in the painting, it was wild. So I was like, I wish I like future suitors if you would like to woo me.
I love that the figures fading out of the painting was like the least of everyone's concern.
Right.
And then like just like they're
Unbothered.
like, oh yeah, like, oh, the dog's gone. Oh, now
No.
this dog showed up. Oh, hey, that another witch disappeared. We have a maid. Like it just that didn't faze them at all. And like nothing fazed anyone in this movie except for Chris, who was like got the dramatic close-ups every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Right.
When I repaint this picture, Courtney, I think that I will make a few amendments. I will make it more historically accurate, and I will move it from 1592 to 1692 Salem, because we know that witches got burned in Salem.
Right. I see, and now that I will hang on my wall and curse every day of my life. So just give me something to direct my hexing at. There it is.
Richard-Lael, are you going to be the magistrate in the painting?
Oh, I'm the one with the mustache, but I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of in this. I'm kind of already in that painting.
That's true.
There's the hat. You have the hat going.
I do have that hat.
You can make Jason the magistrate, and then we won't.
I think
we'll pretend that it doesn't look like him. Jason, what are you?
I think
about?
Jason is the one with the thigh out. I think.
Oh, there you go. Jason showing a little
hair.
leg.
Yeah, yeah.
And look at those stones. Look, go back. Look at this. Look at these. What?
Those are dolphins.
Also, the person there with the torch.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little. It's a little sus the way we're holding that. I just kind of noticed it.
He's flaming.
He is flaming. He gets it in the end. Also,
And can we talk about that dress too? Someone says. Oh yes, that was our producer Rob. Yes, that dress.
That
Looks-
patchwork tablecloth.
Oh, so 70s. That's so early 70s.
It is.
That was classic for that era.
Do you know what I more than the dress? The one thing that made me cringe in the entire movie was, okay, so yeah, they're living in Manila. Yes, he's an antiques dealer. Yes, he has questionable taste in art. But inside, you walk into the foyer of an okay, decent house. There's clearly some money involved, and there is a plaster statue of one of the Greek goddesses, and it's white and gold, and it's on this sort of Corinthian column, and is so tacky. I mean, it looks like it belongs on the patio at Mar-a-Lago.
No.
So
That's also very typical when you see 70s homes. There's so much tacky in the 70s. There's so
This
many
is very true.
very cool things that came out of that decade, but there was so much tacky stuff, especially home decor, in my opinion.
I think now we look back on it and it seems very kitschy, but at the time, like, oh, I'm old enough to remember some of it, and just like, ooh, I don't know what anyone is thinking, and I'm 5, and I don't know what anyone's thinking.
I guess really every decade has that, because we could say the same thing about the 80s, but that's for another movie discussion.
I do have to say that a friend of mine is watching Daughters of Satan as we speak, and on my screen, I'm getting basically the equivalent of live tweets as he goes through it, and he just made it through the seduction scene.
Yes.
And I can't repeat the things that he is saying, but he is very much concurring with our assessment of that particular moment.
I love that seduction scene. I mean, I have used that trick so many times. I mean, it's just like, hi, I'm not going to seduce you. You can't seduce me. Don't try to seduce me. Really don't.
But I will say, between witchcraft and the leather community and running a spicy shop, I have spent a lot of time just having casual conversations with naked people. So that part felt very normal to me.
Okay, Thumper, I have a question.
Yes.
Do you sell outfits like the very controversial spider versus crab versus whatever is on her
The
crotch?
leotard.
We do not, but one of my employees is wage slave by day, drag queen by night, and he was obsessed with that outfit, so I might be able to get it for you.
Okay. All right.
Because he was like, that's a look. And I was like, oh, please no. No.
You're talking about
sachet
that
away.
one?
That one.
Red. So that's just a that looks like a bodysuit, a typical gymnastics dance bodysuit from the 70s, and with some purple tights underneath. She probably has leg warmers, and we just aren't seeing them. And heels.
She also had a whip.
As a former Christian, Thumper, I will tell you the reason she's in red and purple is because it's supposed to be the great, I can't say the word, W.H. Orr of Babylon.
Oh, okay.
Who is clothed in scarlet and purple, and that she is drunk with the blood of the saints. That's why she's oftentimes in classic films, you'll find the villain is in red and purple. You find it even in Disney, even in Pocahontas, you find it in The Hunchback of Notre Dame. The villain is always in red and purple. Because
that's true. You have the Wicked Queen is red, purple, and black, and Ursula's purple and black, and Maleficent, purple, red, and black. It's the same color scheme. You're absolutely correct with that. That's really cool.
Even when in now I can't think of the movie, The Princess and the Frog Prince.
Yes.
The Disney remake that took place in Louisiana, the bad guy in that was purple.
Dr. Vasilius. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. That's very common.
Jafar, when Jafar is the bad baddie.
Purple and black.
Red. Yeah. In the hyena caves, then they're all purple.
But this movie had a lot of biblical references. I mean, you can go with Nicodemus too, and you know, the minute somebody says Nicodemus to me, I think of the rat from what's the movie from the
Secret
early
of Nymph?
Yes, thank you, Secret of Nim. That's Nicodemus to me is the king rat or the top rat in that, but you know, it is a biblical name.
Between that movie and Watership Down, like those two movies are the reason everyone of our generation needs therapy.
Yes, 100% Thumper. Absolutely, Watership Down ruined me.
Oh yeah, like I was all in up until he got Violet, and then I was just crushed.
Oh,
I was like, oh, the world is not a safe place.
Yeah, that is so true. There's Nicodemus. That's the rat from Secret of Nim. I love this movie. It didn't not wreck me as much as Watership Down wrecked me, but this was an obsession of mine when I was younger. So
yeah,
that's Nicodemus to me. But it is a biblical reference, and there are a lot of them, including the colors, like Richard-Lael says. They used a lot of biblical stuff in these 70s movies to make sure we knew that witchcraft was bad and evil and satanic.
I felt, and I was probably wildly off base, but the opening scene where the woman is all tied up and they're like forcing her to recite the names of
Lucifer,
of the devil's saints.
Asmodeus.
Yeah, give us all 9 names. All I could think about was the scene in the Crucible where they were like, recite the 10 commandments. And he was like, well, between the two of us, we know most of them. And I was like, that felt like a reference to me. Like the director threw that in because he was like, we're doing real cinema here.
If you're cutting your foot and you're being hung, can you lift up your foot if it's being cut? I mean, I know you don't rest on the knife with your toes as you're being cut. Anyway, we could talk for hours on this film, but time is flying by. Do we have any quotes, Miss Courtney?
Oh, yes, we do. Not a lot, thankfully, because, again, ADHD, but I did manage to get some. I do like the way she turned it around in the beginning, even though I just made fun of her for her reaction to the painting. She then said, if you see my face in every woman and in every painting, I guess you're just gone on me. In a way, it's a compliment. Kiss me. So I thought that was fun. Richard-Lael requested his favorite quote, which is, keeping you straight is a full-time job. And then probably my favorite part of the whole movie was, for no reason, like why this man was photographing a corpse is beyond me, but while he was photographing the corpse, he was dancing around, he was singing a little song, and the little song goes like this, and I'm not going to sing it because I can't remember it, but blessed is the bride that the sun shines on, blessed is the corpse that the rain rains on, oh, she lays there in the midnight air, and the wind blew up her nightie, and a moon lit the nipples of her tit, oh, Jesus Christ almighty, la 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 la. As soon as he was like, the wind blew up her nightie to the corpse, I was like, I'm calling someone. I'm going to report whatever is happening because I feel uncomfortable. So there you have it. Those are my quotes.
I have a quote. I have one more. It made me laugh. One more quote. So speaking of Nicodemus, and I forgot about this until anyway, when he says he goes looking for the owner of the dog, Nicodemus. He's like, do you know a dog's owner named Nicodemus? And the man says, Nicodemus is an awful name for a dog. Dog should be named Rex or Spot. And then Mary Jane's dog as a girl was named Nicodemus, which made me laugh.
I love that name.
I do too. And it's also a Greek name, which is weird that it was in Manila, but that's just me. My favorite quote was when Kitty was, attempting to seduce Tom Selleck's character by talking about the dead psychiatrist who exploded. And she's like, isn't it sad? He's dead. And the way she said it, I was on the floor rolling around. It just cracked me up terribly. Isn't it sad? He's dead. And then she made a face and touched him.
Thank you. Those are Thumper, are you doing our Mankey movie moment this week?
It occurred to me at the very last minute that I should have like a Forge's film fantasy or something, and I didn't get a chance to put one together.
Oh.
But next time I'm here, I will have something that will make Jason Mankey very proud.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, then we're not as rushed as we thought we were. Do we have anything else to talk about this beautiful film other than the leotards?
Why did they kill the guy who ran the antique shop? That never didn't make sense to me because he was in the Manila Assembly of Lucifer, and then they just killed him.
Because it's 1972, and
They had to have a body count.
I gotcha. Maybe the ninjas like missed the first time, and they were like, "Ooh, that was."
Oops.
Hate it when that happens.
Covering their tracks because he knew about it, so they got to cover their tracks.
Oh, okay.
He had
What
the
was
little.
with his hair? What was that? What was that hair?
Yes. Oh, Richard.
Oh,
Oh, there you
wow.
go.
wow.
There you go. Oops, it curled up. It curled
Oh,
up.
It'll always curl up.
But you can pull it
Oh,
off.
my God.
There's my special guy.
Super good. Yeah, that's an interesting look. Oh yeah, he's got him on the sides too. You could do that whole look, Richard-Lael. So much.
yeah.
I mean, I could, but I don't. I shaved it all off on the side, so maybe I'll just curl my small sideburns. Maybe, I don't know.
Anyway, well, I guess we're moving on. We have a couple minutes left. So now what we do have to do is vote. Everybody, you guys have been great in the chat room. We've been watching. So wands up or wands down for Daughters of Satan?
I'm going to hold it up like the priests do, and then I'm going to spit on it.
Don't hurt yourself, Richard-Lael.
Yeah, please. We don't want you to be smited or smote.
Up. We are unanimous up. That is actually rare these days, I must
It
say.
is.
Knows what a fine film this is. Again, it was a little talky, but I loved every second of it. So that is good. Wands up from Scared Alone. Ray and Angel Queen, wands up. Up for Kevin. Robert, jump in here. Robert, wearing your necklace. You can't see, it's all too low. Robert, Heather and I has the Robert necklaces on. Thank you, Robert.
Thank you.
Yes, you can buy us. You can buy all of us. We'll vote however you vote. No. One's up for a movie or too wasted to remember. Colin, I saw you saying this movie should have been high for. I'm with you on that one. But I loved it anyway.
Speaking of wasted, many years ago, I had this movie on DVD. And the thing is, I quit drinking about 13 years ago. And the best part of that is I watch movies now that I've seen before, and it is a whole new movie. And so this one was quite wonderful. I was like, oh, it's even more terrible than I thought it was. And now I'm so happy.
So wands up, Mary Jane. Wands up, Love Ridiculous. So this has been unanimous so far. Is there anybody out there with a neutral or a wands down? Or is this the first wands up across the board movie we have ever done?
I'm going to say mine is a very reluctant wands up, but it's the best. Yeah. It's the best out of the 70s movies. And that's why I'm finally giving one a wands up.
Beautiful.
Exactly.
Okay. Only because of that scene right there.
Yes.
Right. And the painting. I love the paint. And the painting. The dominatrix in the painting was great. So.
Yeah.
And the No Salem. Wands up for Spain.
Wands up. Wands up
for Spain.
Oh, and Daughters of Santa. That's the one I watched by mistake. No.
On Cornhub. I watched that one on Cornhub.
Uh-oh. Right.
Anyway, do we know what movie we're watching next week?
And Night Books, 2021, I believe, is what it's from. And that's all I know. I do not know what movie it is, and I do not know who recommended it, but I think it was someone in our chat coven that wanted us to watch it. So it's on Night Books 2021. I believe someone said it's on Netflix.
It is. I just looked.
Okay, Night Books, you guys watch it, vote, and come back next week. Does anybody have anything coming up in the next week or two that they want to talk about before we go?
I've got nothing in the next couple of weeks. I will be at October's bookstore in November to promote the launch of the Chaos Apple. You can find me everywhere, all social media at Fivefold Law. And my friend who was watching the movie instead of this video cast just texted me and said, "Oh, they got my man in the end." So I
see.
Let's hear it for Witchcraft.
All right.
There
Night.
it is.
Okay.
Night books.
Night books. So none of us know what it is. That'll be interesting. A first for all of us. So you guys come back next week. We have one more thing to do, and that's cackle because we're witches. 1, 2, 3. Yeah!